All right, so you had a big close the last lap to get second. How'd you feel about your race?
I'm really happy. I mean, you know, didn't run a race last year. Wasn't really in a good place. You know, dealing with injury and things like that. So to be able to come out here and run an indoor PR, and that's, I think, the third fastest I've ever run in the 4. I mean, I'm so thankful just to be out here, really.
Talk to me about your return to the track. Obviously, like, that's a really long time since racing. So how has this process been for you, especially the preparation, making sure you're ready for a race like this?
Yeah, I mean, you know, going back to last year, like, you know, I expected it to be my year. I didn't expect to be injured all year and not run a race. So, you know, being on the sidelines and having to watch everything and not be a part of it was a pretty big blow. And it was an injury that I really didn't know I'd ever really come back from it. There were times where, you know, I didn't think I'd run again. So just to be out here and to work through that and, you know, to finally find the right answer, because it was a lot of just looking for the right answer. You know, injuries is one of those things, like, you know, some people think they have an answer and they don't, and so just like finding the right one took a long time and it was a real process, but I'm really thankful to have finally gotten that figured out and, you know, be out here running at the best I've ever run.
So what was the injury and when did you get over it? How did you?
Yeah, so it's Achilles tendinopathy. It's an intra-substance tear, so it's a tear basically in the inside of the tendon. Not really operable. You can't do anything about it. And so I did PRP, I did shockwave, soft wave, like literally anything you could name. Didn't work. I basically started working with my new coach, Terrence Mahan, and he basically just put me on board. He's like, look, your issue is biomechanical. If we can get your biomechanics correct, you will be fine. And just spent, like, basically I didn't run from June until like I think the last week of September, maybe in October, and just worked on those exercises and teaching my body how to move correctly. And yeah, like I came back to running, didn't feel any pain at all, and still haven't felt really any pain at all. And so it's just kind of one of those things, like I was searching for an answer to treat the symptom, but the Achilles is just a symptom. The problem was my whole body just being dysfunctional. And so, yeah, it's just like, it was just one of those things. I had to be really diligent and trust the process. Clearly it's working. So,
did you change your running form then?
I mean, like there were just so many things I was doing correctly. Like my glutes were not working at all. So like my hips were just kind of dumping more or less. Like my hips are supposed to rotate like this and like this. Instead, they were just kind of like just doing that. They weren't really like actually rotating correctly. I had a lot of internal rotation in my femur, so that was putting a lot of stress on my knee. And it also caused my foot to kind of evert and pronate a lot. And so that was putting extra stress on my Achilles. You know, I have like a chronically elevated right hip, so that leg is always short. And we had to adjust things like in my neck, for instance, my cervical. I had to get adjustments there a lot to correct that. And, you know, all kinds of things like that I didn't even really know were possible. But it just took correcting all of that, and I was able to return without any, you know, operations or any like intervention.
And where are you based now?
Still in Atlanta, or just north of Atlanta.
Okay.
Training at Life University. It's where my mom coaches, so it's just it's kind of like home for me.
Yeah.
Just a familiar environment.
So Terrence is kind of giving you stuff remotely, and then do your parents still help oversee stuff? Or?
Yeah, so like Terrence sends everything, like weight room stuff, track stuff, all that, and my mom holds the watch. And then Coach D, Coach Dominic Demare at Life, he will kind of like work with me in the sprint stuff occasionally, whenever it makes sense. He talks to Terrence whenever Terrence kind of like wants to give me some faster stuff, just to be able to run with. Yeah, it's a good process. I like it. It's very similar to what I did in high school, just kind of elevated. So I think it works really well for me. Still really haven't scratched the surface though on training. Like I wasn't able to sprint or like wear spikes until the end of December. So like I really haven't done a whole lot of like real training yet, and I'm excited about that.
Will we see you in an 800 soon?
I don't know. I don't plan on running the 8 for a while. I think if I get my 400 down, then the 8 will be ready, but I'm more focused on the 4 right now.
Like even to outdoor, like is that going to be your primary event, you think, even to outdoors?
I mean, we'll see. Like, obviously, they kind of go hand in hand, like, especially for me. Like, my 8 is nothing without my 4, and my 4 is nothing without my 8. So, yeah, I just think, like, if I can chip my 4 down, then, you know, I'll feel confident to run an 8.
Thanks, Will.
Thanks, Will. Appreciate it.
Thank you.